Let's get DeMorge out here.
DeMorge! DeMorge Brown.
Yes, sir.
Hey, DeMorge, because not because you're black, but because you're my black friend.
That I am.
And I know you do not. You're not an ambassador of your race. Far from it. The things this guy does. But I just personally, how do you feel about the when you see a fast food commercial that's like targeting?
You realize that I've been in those too.
Have you been in them?
Joel, all those Burger Kings with Joel McHale. I'm the black guy in those ads.
But being the black guy in, but I'm talking about the ads where literally everyone in the ad is black and the soundtrack is like kind of like
it's been a running thing with me because there are certain ads that have black people in them and they're just ads with black people, and then there are ads that are black. And the best example I can give of this is I had an audition once, and I had an agent who was like, I know you've had 4 today, I'm gonna send you on a 5th. You gotta go, because I can't believe this is real. And I had a clause in my thing, like when I first signed with them, they said, is there anything you won't do? And I said, I won't do cigarette stuff and no KFC. And this is what, and she said, it's a KFC thing, just go, please do it for me. I know, just go. And you'll see what I mean. And so I get there and there's 2 ads. There's a black ad and there's a white ad. And the white ad is that there's a guy who's got a yellow Corvette, and there's a girl next to him, and he's eating chicken fingers, and she's like, oh, I just want to try it. I just want to get in it. And he's like, yeah, babe, I know you do. And ultimately, she's talking about the chicken fingers.
Oh, my God. It's like an O. Henry novel.
She thought he was talking about the car. Yeah. The black ad is incredibly different. And the room is different. Everybody's in the same room, but the white people are sort of just hanging out, chatting. And then there are these black, and I know that these are stage actors, people who know a story, dying laughing. They're sitting in their seats, and you see these people going, I'm gonna eat that chicken. And we're gonna eat that chicken. And I get the script, and the script says, it opens with a description. The THA boys are watching the game. Mama's in the kitchen fixing up some kitchen fresh chicken because they were trying to take the word fried out of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and so it was KFC. And then apparently what happens is the wife of one of the 3 guys watching the game comes in, sees the mom in there and gets jealous. She's been shopping, and then she gets upset. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at these guys, and then there's 3 of us. We go in a room, and the guy sets with the audition. The audition is like this. 3 guys, we're going to do the ad 3 times, once for each of you guys, and I'm going to give notes. The cast directors, I'll give notes. The first guy gives his best shot. The first line is, the woman comes in, she goes, what are you guys doing? And the guy's first line is, the line is written, eating kitchen fresh chicken. And the guy says, eating kitchen fresh chicken as subtly and as best, as he can. The guy gives notes, and he says, no notes to him. To the wife, you should be really mad. You see, this mom is in here, and she's in your territory. So, I don't know if you've ever seen Rolanda, but your neck's got to pop, and and Mama, if you could just really make that chicken for us so that we get, but anyway, go. And then the second take, they come around and come to me, and I've already decided I'm going to do this Snagglepuss voice for the line. So they come to me. And then she says the line, and she's markedly upset and, glistening a bit at this point. And I say, eating a kitchen fresh chicken. Guy comes over, no notes for me. Honestly, I don't know if you've seen Rolanda, but you've got the women that get upset, and you gotta. And Mama, honestly, with the chicken, maybe if you open up more, we'll see more of you, so we can do that. The third guy tops me. He does this. And the craziest part about it is, I get a call back. I go to the callback, that dude is there. Not the other guy. What? So I'm like, and so I look at this, I go, there's got to be somebody in the room that said, I want to see these guys again. We're paired together.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an inside job there.
So I get outside, but I get out of the room because I can see them. They're there, and the client is enjoying their time in L.A. They're loving their time in L.A. So they're ordering Peking duck and then mad because, what do you mean they have to call ahead? It takes 8 hours to make Peking duck, some shit like that. And so they're very much like, they're the people who wrote the ad or approved it or did whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this guy, and the guy goes, you gonna do the same thing? And I said, yeah, I probably am. And then the door flies open, and this Ally McGraw woman walks out. Lithe, lovely, riding boots up to here, a white fisherman sweater with a blue marijuana leaf on it, doesn't even look at us, takes out a cigarette, takes a drag, blows it straight into the air, then looks at us out of the corner of her eye, smiles, and goes in the room, and I go, that's the wild card. And I go, and I bet you anything, there's a black guy in there, and he's probably wearing a polo, and his name is George, and he just wants a corner office, and they probably said, oh shit, run it by George, and George said, oh yeah, it's great. And we go in the room, and there's a dude in a lavender polo sitting in a corner with a bristly mustache, and his head's down, he's flipping through notes, and he looks up, and then he looks down right away. And we did the same thing. They called me to give me the job, and I was like, my agent goes, just...
You went kitchen fresh chicken.
In the room with them, I said, kitchen fresh chicken. With no intention of doing the job. What obviously.
The fuck is happening?
I have no idea. I really don't know. I don't think it matters, and I think even if they recognize that that's what you're doing, they realize that on the day, if you're the actor they think you are, and they think very little often. Sometimes when they're making those types of ads of actors, they think, well, we get them on the day. They'll do the actor will do the thing. The agent will make.
You think there's full awareness of what's going on there, that they're a little
somewhere in the production company or somewhere somebody's knows.
I'm 42 years old. I'm lucky enough to have been doing shit for 20 years that involved like directing people, like tweaking performances and stuff. And I have on at least 4 occasions had to ask a black performer to basically black it up, like because it was like part of the
no murder he raps. You were like, I think you need DeMorge's. You think you need to do a thing, and it was just I was doing like straight reads on the lines.
But there's always like this brick wall where it's like we all know what's going on. Like it's like there's this uncomfortable moment. It's almost like a reverse handshake where like Jordan Peele like came in and did the this like time monster, and it was like the dialogue was written like we wrote it for like Key and Peele, and it was like the idea was like these fourth dimensional time monster creatures come in, and their dialect is like they're very black, and but like
very,
and it's not my
kitchen fresh chicken.
As in the, but you talk about those ads, and like for example, Adolph Caesar. One time when I was learning, I had a wonderful voiceover teacher for commercials in Boston, and she gave me a Don Buchwald audition tape one time, I think, and Adolph Caesar's voice was on there. So it's every black ad ever from one of the greatest actors of all time, and you'll recognize. Well, it's the guy that said, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste."
Oh, yeah?
That guy, and he had like a BC powder. Aspirin powder ad was like, you got a dirty, low-down, rotten headache. every ad was amazing. And he's in an ad. I saw this only one time during the Grammys when I was a kid, and I don't know where this ad is. If they find it, it will go viral. It was a black McDonald's ad, I think targeted at the Grammys, with James Brown in it, but only for a moment. And it's black kids in a McDonald's going, oh, they run up to the show, and it's like James Brown concert, sold out. And they're like, oh, man, we didn't make it in time. Hey, fellas, look across the street. There's McDonald's. We're going to Mickey D's. Oh, it's all right.
When there's not enough
like,
James
what are you
Brown.
Gonna get? I'm going to get a Big Mac. What are you going to get? I don't know, but I'll know when I get up there. And then they're waiting in line, and the door flies open.
So far, this is a great commercial.
That's why I don't know why I only saw this once.
It's like a Mammoth play.
The door flies open in the last second. The door flies open. James Brown comes in, the entire thing on one leg, and he goes, "Ha! It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's."
No.
And then the guys high five, end of ad. And then while it's going on, I think it's Adolph Caesar's voice at the end. It's like, you know what's up. Get on down to Mickey D's.
Okay, so original question because you I said
can find that
Because
ad.
you got to get up to get down.
so forget as an actor. Okay, so you were in the trenches with, on the actor side. Can you compartmentalize as a viewer when those commercials come on? What happens to you in your brain?
Well, I was a kid, I recognized it immediately as a black ad, and I put it in my black ad trunk. Which is, you see them all. But you see them all. What I loved was they were markedly low risk and they were markedly worse on average. It was always, it's black grandmother's black birthday. She's buying a black Pontiac. Let's hope she gets her black loan. Like, it was always like, Mama, try out the bucket seats. It was always that kind of stuff, as opposed to just other ads which were subtle and weirder and stuff. But what was great was there were other ads with black people in them that didn't even target race. Like, there was a Little Caesars ad or something. No, it was the same people who made the Little Caesars ads made an ad for like a sale at like a department store sale or something like that, and they cut to all these different people who are like, I wish I had known about the sale, and then they go to the sale, and they cut to this one black guy who's in the ad. He dominates the ad, and he's a hot dog vendor. And he goes, I'm holding my weenie, and poof, my woman was gone. And that's like it's not a black. It's just the ad is just people everywhere go to this sale, and this guy steals it just by being himself.
Yeah,
these are the old Little Caesar ads, the ones that had the dog, and different ones where they were like really odd and strange and arch.
So jury's out.
Yeah, no, I mean they're horrible. I think they're horrible, but I think what's happened is we're all starting to get the clearest picture. It's the same thing about soccer, perceptions of soccer and that kind of stuff. And I've never known a world where soccer didn't rule and everybody was into it and it was a thing. And I grew up along most people who I think for a while were like, oh, no, they'll never catch on. It's like everybody I know played it. And in black, there's a world where I know that everybody, my relatives, my friends, their relatives, they buy everything that everybody else buys. Our consumer dollar is worth everything everybody else's is. But also, people made fun of that movie Rachel's Wedding because they're like, no combinations of people of any ethnicity exist like this and do these kinds of things. That's all I ever knew growing up. And I grew up around all these people. These perceptions of the world are now commonplace. And so you get ads where it's, black ads that are subtle and delightful. You get ads that are targeted to everybody, but are primarily black just by ethnicity because they're putting a black family on for the first time, or a black husband and wife, or couples of mixed ethnicity.
That's where it gets confusing, is because when you go like, what is television's role and what is the that's what always like makes my brain turn into a balloon animal, because I'm like, Norman Lear started doing sitcoms that were like, hey, what if we treated this segment of the viewing audience as if they also were human beings, which entails something that on any other day you could go like, well, that's also it just twists my fucking brain, and I'll go to my grave awkward. They should just put awkward, racially obsessed, awkward, can't fuck up on my grave, and I spent his life trying to figure it out.
All of it is all about the fact that we're capable of so much more. Our brains are capable of holding all of it in, and we don't have to necessarily continue to generalize to get wider to understand everything on infinite detail. We can actually stay on macro and just take everything in at its own detail and say, you look at when Tiger Woods was first becoming a thing, and he's like, look, my mom is Thai, my dad's black, but there's also mixed race parentage in me of other things. So you're telling me that you want me to tell you what I am? Why don't you just ask me about the golf game and not worry about that shit?